Curious about how selling your book directly to readers works? In this video, I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily start selling your book directly to readers without relying on platforms like Amazon. Customers love buying directly from their favorite authors. It's a fast growing trend and it's easy to see why they love it. More and more authors and creators in general are selling directly to people these days. The real money is in building your own business and owning the list of customers without relying on any platforms like Amazon. So currently there are only two real strategies to succeed on Amazon. You either pay to play or you try to increase visibility and conversions to your listing on Amazon as much as possible the free way. The challenge with this is that your sales growth is unpredictable and you're constantly fighting against millions of sellers. By selling directly to your readers, you become free from all of the restrictions on your ability to sell your book on Amazon. There's so many more things you can do. There's so many more advantages to selling directly to readers. So in order to unlock these advantages like higher profit margins, control over your business and branding, owning a growing list of customers, selling more products, freedom from platform policies, these are all awesome, but you will face new challenges. You will have to build your own foundation. That's like creating your own website, processing payments, printing and shipping your book, even customer service. You got to start doing yourself. And you have to start increasing your marketing efforts. But a lot of that can be easily automated using software and AI tools. So we'll make this really simple for you. And in this video, I'll walk you through the process of selling directly to customers step by step. And I'll give you as much clarity on it as I can on how it works and what to do. First, I want to share a quick story of what it is like for an author to experience fast growth. It's really exciting to make a lot of money quickly, but it's also really scary because there's a lot of new challenges that you're going to have to face when you move off Amazon and you have to build your own website, take care of all the processing fees, payments, transactions. You're going to have to get a payment processor, something you never had to do before because Amazon did that for you. Then you have to figure out how to print and ship your book. Again, something Amazon took care of for you. Now you got to figure out how to do that yourself and still maintain your profitability. Then you got to figure out a new way of advertising. You're going to have to increase your marketing efforts. You're going to have to do a lot more things. And then once you start getting customers, you're going to realize you have to start doing customer service. People will start emailing you and asking you questions about their product or how to use the product. And all of a sudden, there's a lot more things that you have to do. And so now let's say you're committed and you want success and you want it fast. And so you're willing to do all this stuff. Great. So what's going to happen is when you start getting sales very quickly, you get really excited and you think to yourself, "Oh my God, this actually works. I can sell my book directly to readers." And you've found a way to take the orders, collect the money, and then have the book printed and shipped out to that customer. And you're hopefully at some level of profitability. So now you start thinking, let's increase the volume of sales. So you start spending more money on ads. So that's what I did. I started spending more money on Facebook ads and I quickly went from a couple $100s a week trying to get people to buy my book on my website to $1,000 a day on Facebook ads. And that to me was terrifying. I've never spent that much money in my life on anything before, but to spend $1,000 a day as an author on Facebook ads was really terrifying. But I didn't just randomly wake up and decide I was going to spend $1,000 a day. I built up to it by watching, monitoring my sales, figuring out my numbers so I wouldn't lose money. There were periods of time where some days you spend $1,000 and you make $3,000, and the next day you spend $1,000 and you might have lost money. And so it's unpredictable because when you're just running Facebook ads, it takes time for Facebook to learn and stabilize and understand who your customers are. So in the beginning, sales velocity will be very rocky. And that's why the copywriting and the design of your funnel or your website is so critical to the process because all of those things, the better that your website is, the better that you're able to convince people to buy and trust in you, the smoother the sales velocity will become and the smoother your customer service experience will become. And it's just a part of naturally figuring it out as you go. You can't get everything right from the beginning. So Part of this is about fixing things as they break. And that's what it's going to feel like. Things will keep breaking and you're going to have to keep trying fixing them. So it can be stressful. But again, you look at your bank account and you see, I made $3,000 in a day after I spent $1,000. So then you start doing your numbers every single day. You're like, okay, my hard costs are about $1,500. So maybe I made $500 in profit today, and so on. And so this is kind of the experience of what it becomes to run your own business and treat your book as a product, as an asset, and not just be an author who is living off a platform like Amazon. Now you're taking into consideration that you're more than an author. You are an author with a book, and that book is a product, and you really believe in this book and this product. And so now you have to work really hard to convince other people that they should buy this book and it'll somehow change their lives and make them have a really great experience. So there are 3 phases to selling directly to readers. The first phase is preparation. You need to do some preparation in order to get ready to sell on your own website. So there's some things we have to figure out, and there's questions you have to go through in the self-evaluation process. Phase 2 is testing. Now that you have your numbers and you kind of figure out what numbers you need to hit to become profitable and how to increase your profitability from that point, you start planning ahead into the future of how you're going to sell this book and additional things with it so that you make more profit. And so we do some simple tests to see how sustainably we can get book sales without killing ourselves and stressing ourselves out, having to pull your hair out. It can be really insane if you try to go for really fast success, which is kind of like what I did. There's a much more sustainable way to do that, and that's through smaller testing. So you send small amounts of traffic and you try to get it to convert. So you're not paying a lot of money. You can do a test for around $100 or $500. I personally think spending $1,000 on advertising will give you a much better idea of how well you can do by selling directly to readers. And not everybody is ready to do that. They might feel a little scared to spend $1,000. So I say, why not start at $100? And you don't even have to spend any amount of money. You can always go the free organic route. You'll just have to spend a lot more time doing free marketing, posting on YouTube, posting on social media, and building a list and hustling. And I prefer a combination of both, but I love paid ads because I like to get fast results and I know I can, whether the things that I'm doing are good or not, because I can make tweaks a lot faster. And that's why I prefer to pay to play. And paying to play on Amazon is inferior compared to paying to play on your own website and playing on platforms like Facebook and Google. And in phase 3, this is the growth phase. So in order to get to phase 3, you have to have gotten at least 100 sales, ideally more than 100 sales. So when you get to the growth phase, this is when you are confident that your product is going to sell well. You're confident in your ability to advertise the product because the message that you've figured out that sells the book is working consistently for you. So what that means is you're not just getting a couple of sales here and there. It's consistently and reliably able to bring you sales every week. And that's why I would say 100 sales is really not enough. But that's around the point where I made the decision to go and just print several thousand copies of my book. Again, I did it in a very fast and unpredictable way. And even though it worked well, there was a lot of things that drove me crazy. And so you don't have to push yourself as much as I did. You can just take your time and work up to 1,000 sales or so. I mean, even 500 sales, I think is a good enough point for you to say, okay, have you gotten enough sales for me to go and either print a large volume of books, because that is one of the best ways to increase profitability of your book. Print on demand is just so expensive. Your cost per book is so much higher. So I went from a $50 product cost to $5 because I went and printed the book in bulk. So there's a huge difference in quality of the book that came out in bulk print, because bulk print will always be the highest quality. And number 2, the price will go down so much more. So this allowed me to continue selling a $50 book now my hard cost dropped to $5. And that's the crazy thing. I was able to prove by doing this exact same three-phase method. First phase is I prepared myself, I figured out who my customers were, and I followed the method of asking myself the questions of if I have a good enough book and how well I understand what my customers want. And so the way I did that is I just would go look at all the reviews for every barbecue book that ever existed, all of my competitors, and I did so much research into figuring out what language they use, how do they describe their pains. I even did a survey and I got them to literally tell me what do they spend their money on, and what kind of books are they already buying, how much money are they spending on barbecue every month or every year. And so I was getting so much information, very valuable information, but on the deep insights into what made these people buy stuff in that niche. And it worked really well for me. So now my profit margin shot up like crazy because I figured out how to sell a barbecue book for $50 on my own website. And this would have never worked on Amazon. I can guarantee that much. I would have thought that the book was just a failure and no one's ever going to buy the book, but that's not true. Just because your book doesn't sell well on Amazon doesn't mean it's a bad book. It just means you haven't figured out how to sell it well yet. And that is why I highly recommend selling directly to readers. Yeah, you could make a lot more money. Yeah, you're going to have to put in the work to build in the foundation and turn your book into a real business, not one that depends on a platform like Amazon. But more importantly, you learn a lot more about what your customers want. And then you start figuring out new ways to serve that market. And so then you start increasing the number of things you can offer to them. And this is how you start really scaling up your business and making more money. That's why all the business people call it scaling up, because as you grow, you start doing your tweaks, start having bigger impact and bigger results. So the same tweak that you do at the phase one level will bring you a lot more money and results at the phase three level of growth, because now you have a lot more systems in place and the thing is running in the background working for you. So from phase one to phase three, I got to the point where I had to handle customer service and check every order and make sure that things were shipping out and everything. By phase three, I had an assistant who would take care of customer service. She would manage all the orders. She would make sure that the warehouse was fulfilling the orders. And if customers had questions, she would email them. And I just had to do a few things that I liked. And I always focused on the marketing part because that's what I was good at. And I would go and make deals with other barbecue experts and try to get a course made and try to get other things made. And so I was doing big backroom deals and things like that. It sounds cool when I say it that way, but that's what it was. I was trying to use my book as leverage and figure out how I can make multi-million dollar opportunities out of that one book. And so when I started this journey, it was just about how can I sell more copies of my book? And by the time I got to phase three, the growth phase, I was thinking very differently. I was thinking more about how to leverage my book into big opportunities. And that was a key part of my success. It allowed me to make connections with really high level influencers in that space using this one book that I created. And they were all amazed that I had this book in the first place and they wanted to work with me. So it became like a magnet and it was attracting new opportunities for me, which was really cool. So I was able to reach out to bigger competitors than me, like big barbecue companies, $100 million companies, $10 million companies. And they were all interested in me. They really liked the book. They believed in what I was doing and they were impressed with the way I was doing it because they hadn't seen this kind of e-commerce stuff before. The way, using funnels and Facebook ads and stuff. And so it worked well for me. And so I made a deal to be on a TV show. I made a deal to have more books made, more courses made and things like that. We had like a membership thing going. I had barbecue products and stuff. And so it really started expanding into something more than just a book. And so I share this story because I want you to think beyond just being a simple author, because you're much more than that. What you've done is created a really beautiful book and you wish to share that with the world. But if you stay on Amazon and you only treat your book like it's a commodity, because that's all it is on Amazon, your book will not reach as many people as it should. So selling directly to your readers is a responsibility that I think that you should take. if it aligns with you. I'm not saying everybody should do it, but if it aligns with you to spread your message to as many people as you want and also make a living out of it and thrive in your niche and open new doors to new possibilities and new opportunities and leverage your book to get those big opportunities. Leverage your 10, 20, $50 book to into bringing you a $10,000 contract or a $100,000 deal with a another company, and you start becoming more confident in your ability to grow this business. So you're no longer just a author with a commodity. You're now a business owner with a valuable product, and that is how you should treat your business. So I hope you found this story inspirational, and I hope I gave you a little bit of insight into what it's like to build a business around your book and learn all the ropes and figure out how to do this without killing yourself. So you can do the same thing for you. Selling directly doesn't have to be so hard. Just follow the 3-step method that I just taught you: preparation, testing, and growth. Take your time working through each stage, and you won't be so stressed out, but you will build a lucrative business around your book, and you'll be a lot more successful as an author and a lot happier too. So I hope I get to see the most valuable book in your niche one day. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you're serious about making more money with your book, I've got something special for you. Sign up for my free 4-day workshop where I'll show you how to sell directly to your readers and build a sustainable income from your book. I did the same thing with one of my books by taking it off Amazon, and I did $250,000 in sales. And I reveal exactly how I did that with this book in this workshop. So I highly recommend you join. Normally it's $49, but for a limited time, it's completely free. Click the link below to grab your spot and start building a business around your book and unlock the hidden profits behind your book.